test. But tomorrow, the Cardinals have won 3 games in a row. Bugle got their defense playing great. Cowboys have won 3 in a row. All of a sudden, David Shula's offense is coming together. Aikman, Emmitt Smith, a defense that has been aggressive all year. And all of a sudden, hey, here come the baby Cowboys, and they got a chance for the playoffs if they win their next 3 games, starting tomorrow, of course, with the Cardinals.
All right, Terry, don't go away. The NFL on CBS continues.
Championship game for our organization and our football team.
So coming up, it's 2 resurgent teams, Bugle's Cardinals against Johnson's Cowboys, after this message from your local station. Site of today's NFC East clash between the visiting Cardinals and the Cowboys, both riding 3-game win streaks. Additional victories are important for playoff purposes for both teams. The Cowboys still in the thick of the playoff hunt for one of 2 remaining wild card berths in the NFC. And the Cardinals, although they will need help, mathematically still are in the hunt. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Brown. Well, who would have thought the word playoffs would be used when talking about 2 teams that last season had a combined total of 6 victories? But Randy Crossman, our visit with Dallas this week, showed they're not even thinking about those playoff possibilities.
Last time these 2 teams played, Dallas was looking to get to 500, went into Phoenix and got thrashed. They've got their undivided attention on the Cardinals. And the Cardinals, according to Tim McDonald, the safety for Phoenix, told us these guys have in the back of the Dallas Cowboy mind that they're going to have a hard time beating us. It's a psychological war right now between Phoenix and Dallas. And like Joe Bugle said, for the Phoenix Cardinals, it's a championship game.
Mild weather conditions here in Dallas. Good football playing weather, according to the likes of Randy Cross and others. Intermittent rain throughout the day. Phoenix has won the coin toss, have elected to receive. Short kickoff to Larry Centers from the 11, and Centers across the 25. There is a penalty flag on the play. Bill Bates, special teamer for the Cowboys, with the tackle. Bates, the aggressive one himself, and Timm Rosenbach, second-year quarterback out of Washington State, comes on as you see the official signal.
Number 61, holding 10 yards, first down.
And our official today, John Keck. Timm Rosenbach, second-year quarterback out of Washington State. Joe Bugle says awfully talented. He should be a big-time one for some time to come. Talk about big-time, a big offensive line anchored by Louis Sharp and Tootie Robbins. And a running game that's awfully impressive. Johnny Johnson back after missing 3 weeks. And ahead on the ground to about the 15 goes Johnny Johnson. And Randy, the solid defense of Dallas.
Last time these 2 teams played, they came out. The Phoenix team did it in a 3-4, but this Dallas defense has been in a 4-3 as long as anyone can remember. Jack Del Rio's having a fine year. Eugene Lockhart leading the team in tackles. And in that secondary, Ike Holt's got a bad back. James Washington, big hitter at the strong safety position.
2nd and 8, a gain of 2 on a play. Johnson, the lone back. On the ground again, and Johnson bullying ahead. Hard-earned yards. About 3 gained on the play. Will bring up a 3rd and 5. And Randy, I don't think that Jerry Austin would appreciate me having named him John Keck, our today's official.
Well, officials are kind of like offensive linemen. They don't get their names mentioned very often, so you got to get it right early.
Well, we'll get that name right there. Jimmy Johnson, in his 2nd year, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, doing things his way this year and loving it. Three wide receivers in. Rosenbach looking things over. Back to pass, his first for the game. With time. Complete for the first down to Ernie Jones. And Jones, a 3rd-year player out of Indiana, whose speed, according to Bugle, has helped them to take the spot of veteran J.T. Smith. Comes up with the catch, pushed out of bounds by Robert Williams.
A big matchup all day long is going to be right out in here. Louis Sharp and Tolbert, number 92 for the Dallas Cowboys. Sharp is bulked up now, bigger than earlier in his career at 290, and he's a physical ball player that could really give the young Tolbert trouble. And Ernie Jones has been a pleasant surprise this year for the Cardinals, really coming on.
23 yards gained on the play. Cardinals at their own 41. This is Kroll in motion. Rosenbaum back for his 2nd pass. dishes it. And Johnson runs for the second first down. Eugene Lockhart pushing him out of bounds. So the Cardinals looking impressive on the opening drive of the game, a 12-yard play.
Now watch this play. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of traffic going to go in here. But the Phoenix Cardinals have the basic idea down pat. Now Smith, the right guard, number 61, is going to get out here late along with the big guy right there. Smith getting out there. Lonnie Smith. Good play.
Two tight ends, Walter Reeves, Tim Jordan in. On 1st and 10, I formation right. Delayed handoff. This is Johnson trying to turn the corner. And does for maybe a couple. 2 yards picked up by Johnny Johnson and Randy. Johnson, the odds-on favorite for Rookie of the Year, missed the past 3 weeks with a bad ankle, replaced by Anthony Thompson. 2 excellent backs and tough decisions for Joe Bugle.
Well, I think really for Joe Bugle's, from Joe Bugle's standpoint, you've got to give one of these guys 25 carries. He told us last night it's not fair to either one of these guys if they're not getting 20, 25, 30 carries a game. You can't give them the both. And he likes his young 7th-round draft pick.
Ball in Dallas territory. Opening drive for the Cardinals. 2nd and 8. Ball at the 46. Offsides flag thrown. Free play complete. And the Cardinals pick up the first down as Rosenbach finds Ernie Jones. And this should be just a formality as it looked like the Cardinals were offside. I'll make that the Cowboys.
Yeah, the Cowboys were up showing blitz.
All right, Jerry Austin, 14 yards picked up on the play.
And Ernie Jones, their 86, has displaced great veteran J.T. Smith. Well, here it is right here. You'll see the offsides. Easy to call that one on Norton, number 51, jumping in there early. But look at Jones. He does everything a good wide receiver should do. Gets open over the middle, tucks the ball, and protects it.
3 wideouts for the Cardinals from the 31. Rosenbach looking right. Complete to Jones, who is sandwiched. Jack Del Rio and Isaac Holt really put the press on him, but he held on for that 8-yard pass play.
Well, one thing's for sure, Jones has no loose fillings in his mouth right now. If he had any, they'd be gone right now.
No doubt about it. Talk about toughness, exemplified on that play as he held on to the pass. Considered the best blocking guy of the wide receivers. 5'11", 196. 2nd and 2. Johnson. Close, but maybe not close enough. Ken Norton wraps him up.
Second and 2 is the perfect down for this Phoenix Cardinals offense. With the big birds, that offensive line up front, they can almost fall forward out of their stances. They're all over 300 pounds, it seems like. They can get a first down on 2nd and 2. Very, very easy. And that's the kind of down you look for play action pass. You look for a run here on 3rd and real short.
Call it 3rd and 1. And the Cardinals look to have it, and indeed they do. So Phoenix keeping the drive alive in that tough Timm Rosenbach as we take a look at Louis Sharp making his presence known.
And Joe Bugle says, I love this quarterback, this Timm Rosenbach. He is the leader. We came in here, we didn't know exactly how good a young quarterback we had, but once we took a couple looks at this guy, we knew he was special. And according to General Manager Larry Wilson, the former Cardinal great, he goes, this guy reminds me of Bobby Lane, Joe Kapp, those fiery, emotional leaders at quarterback.
Folks, this is one drive right here, 68 yards thus far, 1st and 10. Ball inside the 20. This is Johnson. And Johnson gets down near the 15. 5 yards picked up on the play. Johnny Johnson was anxious to get back into action. But the nice thing is, it appears that he and Anthony Thompson have a great rapport for 2 very talented backs.
Every time Thompson ran well the last 3 weeks, he always referred to Johnson. Johnny Johnson's our guy, and Thompson would always say, I know when he comes back and he's ready, he's going in there. And look at that, 306 yards in the last 3 weeks, and they're a great complementary pair. Thompson's strong and physical inside, and Johnson can really get outside like he did on that last play.
All at the 15 of the Cowboys, 2nd and 6. Reeves in motion. This is Johnson. Nowhere. Stubbs. The ex-49er, Daniel Stubbs, on the tackle in the backfield. A loss of 6 on the play.
And Danny Stubbs is one of the veteran players on this team. Right here, Jimmy Johnson, watch him go up the field. The coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Jimmy Johnson, said, we look to our veterans that we do have to lead these young guys and show by example what it takes to get into the playoffs.
Ball pushed back to the 21, 3rd and 12. Incomplete. Rosenbach pressured by Jimmy Jones. Terrence Flagler was in the area to receive that one.
And that was a play set up to be a screen, James. But most offensive linemen forget we can't let the defender go too fast. The lineman wants to hit, delay the guy just a little bit, then get out. On that play, Jones was unimpeded and rushed the quarterback, Timm Rosenbach, before he really wanted to throw it.
Al Del Greco will come on to attempt the field goal. This will be a 38-yard attempt. 16 of 24 field goals this year for Del Greco. It's up. And it's good. So the Cardinals settle for a field goal. And there's a flag on the far side of the field, Randy, and we'll see what the house cleaning is over there. Jerry Austin with the call.
Offside, number 30 of the defense. The penalty is declined. The field goal is good. Timeout.
And most coaches, I'm sure, would play it safe and not take points off of the board. Cardinals on top by a field goal. They help them to clinch a playoff berth. Still 2 spots open in the NFC.
And something to keep in mind, the Giants are now without Phil Simms for a couple weeks. They're fighting for their lives. They don't want to have to play in that first round of the playoffs. It's very important for the New York Giants to win their final 2 games.
Al Del Greco booted a 38-yard field goal on the opening drive for the Cardinals. A drive covering 66 yards. They lead it with 7:49 remaining in the first. Al Del Greco has not been kicking off very well. Bugle frustrated by the good field position given the opponents. And this one is taken from the 15 by Alexander Wright. Escapes 1 tackle and dropped at about the 25 by David Braxton. So Johnny Jackson missed the first tackle. Troy Aikman coming on, having completed 11 straight passes, 3 shy of the team record of 14 held by Steve Pallor. Big physical run blocking line, still having some difficulties pass blocking. A running game that certainly has gained an awful lot of respect thanks to Emmitt Smith. And it'll be 1st and 10, Cowboys. Ball marked at their own 25. High formation right. Aikman back to pass on 1st down, and it's batted down. Looked like Rod Sadler, 6'5", 280. Well, the string is snapped on the first play for the Cowboys. So Aikman will have it written down as 11 straight. Here's the defense.
And for the Phoenix standpoint, now a 3-4 like we mentioned earlier. And Jim Waller in the middle, number 66, a rarity, a good pass rushing nose guard. Linebackers all good. Ken Harvey having a great year. Good combination of quick corners and big physical safeties for the Cardinals.
2nd and 10. Michael Irvin in motion. On the ground, this is Emmitt Smith, cutback move, and Emmitt Smith driving hard. 5 yards gained on a play and a physical running package, Randy, and a guy who is listed at 5'9". He might be 5'8".
He might be 5'8", and he takes it very personally when people say, hey, out of college they said I wasn't quite fast enough, and out of college they said I wasn't quite big enough. He says, hey, I'm over 200 pounds. Isn't that a pretty good-sized person? And when you condense it into that size of a package, that's a very thick, very good, very quick, and tough running back.
2-back set now. Tommy Agee in on 3rd and 5 from the 30. Aikman Gets rid of it, and it's complete to Tommy Agee for the first down. Anthony Bell on the tackle. Agee at 6 feet 218 from Auburn with the pass reception. 9 yards gained on the play.
You know, quarterbacks spend a lot of time in training camp and a lot of time in other camps during the offseason. How do you throw the ball properly? You step up and you whip it out off your front foot, right? Well, Troy's fallen backwards. He's fallen away. He throws a bullet for 30 yards and hits Agee, who's surrounded by defenders. It was a high risk, but also a high talent pass.
Daryl Johnston, the back end to replace Tommy Agee. 1st and 10. Ball on the 39 of Dallas. Play action. Aikman complete for Irvin. Cedric Mack finally knocked Irvin out of bounds. 41 yards gained on the play.
And Troy Aikman told us yesterday the Phoenix Cardinals had better keep an eye on our wide receivers with the play action. They've got very physical safeties, like I mentioned. We can get them sucked up in the defense and open up somebody right behind them. And there you see a perfect example. Irvin wide open, right over the safeties. Now watch. Whoa! The turf is a little bit wet. Irvin's footing's off. And look at that. Light him up. Good hit.
Agee inside the 15 to the 14, a gain of 6 on the play. And Cedric Mack was actually the guy providing the one-on-one coverage on Michael Irvin. Lonnie Young pushed him out of bounds. And Agee keeping things alive, driving inside the 15 for the Cowboys.
Both Lonnie Young and Tim McDonald, number 46 for the Phoenix Cardinals, really love to stick their nose up there and hit. And Tim McDonald told us yesterday that's one of the things I enjoy doing the most. And that's coming up, and that's challenging running backs and challenging tight ends.
2nd and 4. Johnston, the blocking back. Emmitt, the tailback. This is Emmitt. And a good example of the leg strength of Emmitt Smith. A small package with an awful lot of power downstairs, Randy.
For both teams, that was a good example of a couple of players having very good years. Emmitt Smith grinding the ball in there, running the ball very well. And from his inside linebacker position, Jax, number 53, penetrating. Probably the main reason the Phoenix Cardinals went to the 3-4 defense is to utilize the better talents of Garth Jax. They said we can't play him and Hill also inside. So now in the 3-4, Jax is able to play. And you see Smith just driving through defenders.
4:23 remaining in the first. 3rd and 2. Ball at the 12 of Phoenix. Smith turning the corner. Touchdown, Dallas.
If it's just short, James, they're going to mark it, I think, on about the half-yard line.
Well, one of the officials threw up the touchdown signal, so they may have to correct it. But an official by the marker did throw up the touchdown signal. We'll see.
Well, I believe that's Sanford Rivers there, number 121, the referee on the side, and there is no more definitive official in the NFL than that gentleman.
Well, Randy, given the placement of the ball,
they're going to want to take a look at that.
They will bring that one back, and we'll see it on the replay as well.
Well, that big physical offensive line for the Cowboys sort of pancakes everybody up in the middle and occupies them all, and Emmitt Smith runs outside. Now watch where he goes out. Right? Did he break the plane? It would appear from that angle he may have broken the plane with the ball.
And that's why you see a conference still over there. Watch the official throw up the touchdown signal.
But watch the plane. Did the ball get over before the knee went out of bounds? The knee hits the ground just in front of the pylon, out of bounds. Did the ball get over before the knee hit the ground?
The Dallas PR people keep an unusual stat. Every time Jimmy Johnson gets a little irate on TV, they seem to do well.
Right there. That's the question. The knees are going down. It's going down out of bounds. And did the ball break the plane? One more time. Watch the knee. Young hits him. It goes down inside the pylon. Nobody can see that angle of the ball, but the gentleman sitting right there, the official on the sideline.
You'd have to judge from the replays that it's inconclusive. Replay official today is George Slatke. Jimmy Johnson thus far remaining relatively calm.
Let's take one more time at it. We got to assume, like Jimmy Johnson signaled there, it's going to be second down. Watch the knee, watch the ball. And the play will stand as called. It is 2nd and 1.
Actually, I think it's going to be first down. It'll be 1st and goal. Ball at the 1 out of the I formation. Smith. No question about this one. Touchdown, Cowboys. No flags. So Emmitt Smith comes up with his 8th. High snap, bad placement. And Novacek will be dropped, so the Cowboys miscue on that play, cost him a point, and lead it as a result by the score of 6-3.
After the Dallas Cowboy line, watch them come through and drive through every Phoenix Cardinal. Emmitt Smith, no problem. I mean, heck, one of the linemen could have jumped over that pile.
All but Nate Newton, maybe.
And a high snap, but a bad placement by Novacek. And what should be a close game could be a very crucial point later in the game.
Larry centers from the 7. And centers up to about the 23, tackled by Kenneth Gann. Well, both teams impressive in their respective opening drives. The Cowboys, that last play, the touchdown drive, that is, covered 8 plays over 75 yards, 4:01 off the clock. Emmitt Smith on the 2nd stride, good for the touchdown.
And we saw the Dallas Cowboys utilize some play-action pass in that last drive very effectively. Look for Phoenix to do the same thing. They have a good running game that always makes the defense play tough and opens up play action.
Rosenbach effective early, 1st and 10 from the 24. Rosenbach to pass. Now to run, and he can do it well. And Rosenbach runs out of bounds just about 2 yards shy of the first down marker. Run out by Ken Norton. Let's check in New York with Greg Gumbel.
All right, JB, at Tampa Bay, take a look at Vinny Testaverde. He's about to pull off the longest run for a touchdown by a Tampa Bay quarterback in Bucs history. 48 yards, and gets a sparkling block from Mark Carrier right there. Vinny will make it to the end zone, 7-0. Tampa Bay over Minnesota, first quarter, James.
All right, Greg, thank you very much. And back here in Dallas, 2nd and 3. This is Johnny Johnson, the impressive rookie. And Johnson, loose ball. Cowboys have signaled they've recovered. We'll wait for the official signal. And it is Cowboys ball. James Washington came up with the loose ball.
And watch the ball get pulled right out of Johnson's hand by the big veteran, number 7. That's Washington, number 37, that pulls that ball out. I thought it was Jeffcoat. Washington pulls it out and recovers it. Good play. He was not even close to being down. Watch it one more time. It's being strung out well by Tolbert, 92. And Washington comes in and pulls the ball right out of his arms.
14th fumble recovery by the Cowboys. That's the best in the NFC. And Randy, this play is being reviewed again upstairs, George Slatke, but that replay that we saw seemed to be pretty conclusive.
He had a defender down around his legs, but he had not hit the turf yet when that ball was stripped out.
Some busy action in the first quarter, and Randy, walk us through again what they're looking at.
Here's what they're looking for. Was he down by the time the ball comes loose? He's being tackled. He's got a defender on his legs. That ball is...
Replay, the call stands. Fumble. First down, Dallas.
That ball was coming out as the knee was about 2 or 3 inches above the turf. It was very close, but it was conclusive.
3:01 remaining in the first quarter. Cowboys on top of the Cardinals 6-3. First and 10 for Dallas at the 33 of Phoenix. Emmitt Smith. First down. $11 yards gained on the play by Emmitt Smith, tackled by Young and Mack.
Now watch the push. The whole offensive line gets on this play, but better yet, watch Agee's lead block right here. Great crunching block right in back of the offensive line on Hill. The linebacker 58 seems to stop it, but that offensive line's getting so much push. They've got the Cardinal defense 3 yards downfield before Emmitt Smith even gets there.
Ball at the 23 of Phoenix. First and 10. Irvin in motion. Emmitt is the ball carrier. And Emmitt, a hard-fought 2 yards as there's a penalty flag on the play. And a little extracurricular activity. Nate Newton, big Nate Newton. Never says exactly how much he weighs. It just says 300 plus.
Actually, it should have 300 in ISH for most of the linemen in this game today. They're all 300-ish.
Holding, number 63, offense, 10 yards, still first down.
That's John Disick, fourth-year player out of Cal State for the Cowboys, the culprit.
And that's one of the Cowboy linemen that's really starting to come on. He has been crunching people lately. That whole front line for the Dallas Cowboys has improved week by week. And Emmitt Smith was telling us, he says, these guys are doing a great job for me. It's as much of a pride thing for them to get me 1,000 yards as it is for me to get 1,000 yards.
First and 20. Gets back near the original line of scrimmage. Eric Hill on the tackle. A lot of leather popping expected today in this clash between the Cardinals and the Cowboys, two teams with playoff hopes. Texas Stadium, the site. Phoenix trailing the Cowboys 6-3, a missed point after. On a high snap and a bad placement, that's the score. The Cowboys near the red zone.
And we've seen two offenses coming out, pounding the ball and putting the ball downfield with play-action pass so far.
2nd and 8 for the Cowboys. Ball at the 21 of Phoenix. Going up top. Incomplete. Intended receiver was Kelvin Martin. And Aikman looking for a flag. No flag to be found. Jay Taylor on the coverage.
And the Cardinals were showing nothing but strong blitz here. It's not hard to figure out from this angle. We got a lot of people coming after the quarterback. Aikman sees that and flips this ball up. Now it's the receiver's job. It's Martin's job to get out there and catch it. A little incidental contact. Both guys looking at the ball, a little bumping, a little pushing. Troy's trying to keep a view the entire time.
The view he has now is 3rd and 8. 3 wide receivers and 6 defensive backs for the Cardinals. Aikman with time. Is it caught? Kelvin Martin looks to have caught it and enough for the first down. Tim McDonald was defending. So a big catch and pass. Aikman to Martin.
The man they call Kmart is quickly developing into sort of the big play, the Mr. Reliable as the wide receivers here in Dallas. Aikman just spots him, and once again, another good example of that Aikman arm. He flipped that thing out. He was open, facing the other way, saw his receiver, and drilled it to him.
Play being stopped before the snap, and this one will be reviewed again. 19 seconds left in the first quarter of play. Cowboys on top 6-3. And Kelvin Martin, we'll see whether or not now they claim he tracked it or not, or if it hit the ground.
Let's watch the ball. Does the ball make contact with the ground? Defender Tim McDonald dives in front. Couldn't see much conclusive from that.
After review of instant replay, the call stands, completed catch, first down.
It's going to stand. Remember, it must be conclusive if it is a theater drop or hits the ground. There's the ball. The body shields it. There's no way of telling.
Third replay of the first quarter, but a quick one indeed. A quick review that time. 1st and 10. Ball from the left. Smith, the ball carrier. Still on his feet. Wagner, Zuki. Touchdown, Dallas. Rushing touchdowns on the season for Emmitt Smith.
Very appropriate to watch this from the ground level so you can appreciate the quickness, the moves, and the instant burst acceleration of Emmitt Smith. How do you tackle this guy? He's got the leg strength and he's got the pop. You can't stay with him.
Point after, this time is good. The Cowboys, Ken Willis drills it. Well, Emmitt Smith, you said it, Randy. They said he wasn't fast, wasn't strong, couldn't run. He's doing it all here. Daryl Johnston in his second year with the Cowboys doing an impressive job as Ken Willis kicks off. And a poor one indeed to centers at the 18. And Centers takes it up to around the 32. And that will be the last play of the first quarter. Dallas Cowboys out on top by 10.
There's a fine young man right there. Dexter Manley's got a lot of people around the country pulling for him. And he told us yesterday, please, let's not talk about me. Let's talk about the great year Ken Harvey's having. Let's talk about the great year Johnson and Thompson are having carrying the ball. I'm with a team that's playing very well. Don't worry about Dexter Manley.
One thing hasn't changed about him. He prances on the sidelines like a caged tiger, anxious to get in there. On first down, Rosenbach. And it's complete. About a yard shy of the first down marker to the veteran, Roy Green. 12-year veteran. Excellent presence of mind.
This looks like another one of the replays waiting to happen. Let's watch how he lands inside. When he catches the ball, does he get 2 feet down, inbounds? Let's watch. Got it? Yep. I would have to say that right foot is just inside the line. One more time. Couldn't tell from there, but great concentration.
And on 2nd and 1, Johnny Johnson takes it more than a necessary yardage for the first down. Ken Norton on the tackle. And Norton going at
it. Well, Joe Bugle told us yesterday Johnson's one of the more eloquent, well-spoken football players he's ever been associated with. But he also is obviously a guy that, as they say, takes no mess.
Well, there's a penalty flag, obviously, on the play. I'm sure he had some well-chosen words. Sure he didn't take time to wordsmith it very nicely, huh?
Well, a lot of emotion here in this game. This is two young, enthusiastic football teams fighting for their lives. And the Cowboys have people talking about playoffs, but the Cardinals, by the same token, are just as emotional. Like we mentioned earlier, they think this is their championship game.
Johnny Johnson, 7th-round pick out of San Jose State. One of the biggest, if not the biggest, surprise of this past year's draft.
You know, football field fights are kind of like wars. They're started over silly little things.
Foul on the offense. Jerking a man's headgear off. 15 yards.
And Norton ripping off Johnson's headgear, but they're started by silly little things. Now watch Norton grab onto Johnson's foot. He won't let go. He won't let go. Johnson actually hit him first, but one rule always stands in football. Johnson rips off that headgear. Don't be the second guy. Don't hit back.
So the Cardinals push back now. Ball marked at their own 32. Makes a 1st and 25. 3 wide receivers in. Rosenbach looking for Green. In and out of the hands of Roy Green. Manny Hendricks step for step with him. Well, after 12 years, the fluid moves of Roy Green still appear to be there.
And these two game plans by these teams today are by no stretch of the imagination conservative. They are going downtown. They've got the running games to pound in the middle, but neither team is hesitating throwing the ball deep.
Nothing dull about the action, huh? It'll be a second down, 25 to go. Ball at the 32. 14:01 remaining in the first half. Cowboys on top, 13-3. Ernie Jones to the near side. Danny Stubbs chasing Rosenbach, and there's a flag on the play, intentional grounding.
As the rule states, you cannot throw the ball away to avoid a sack, and that was a blatant example of Timm Rosenbach trying to avoid a sack. Great call by Jerry Austin.
Intentional grounding, number 3. Wants it down at the spot.
We talked about this guy being fiery and being emotional. Watch his reaction when he throws this ball away. Obviously, he's trying to avoid Stubbs sacking him. Now look, he sees this flag. He thought it was roughing the passer. He thought it was against them.
After the intentional grounding, of course.
A couple of very key critical errors early by the Cardinals here on a drive they needed to get points out of.
3rd and 39. Flagler, the ball carrier. And Flagler gets up only to the 22. Gain of about 4 on the play, so obviously a punting situation.
Those 2 penalties, the one against Johnston, which is really silly for ripping off Norton's headgear, and then the intentional grounding are going to pin the Cardinals defense or give the Cowboy offense a lot of good field position.
Derek Shepard back with his Rich Camarillo punt. And Shepard tried to field it and run, but slipped on the wet spot of the field, so the Cowboys will take over. Ball marked at their own 32. Landmarks here in Dallas, the old red courthouse, 1890. As you take a look at the red jersey, number 3, Timm Rosenbach.
Right now, he's fired up. He's mad. He's got a great quarterback coach there at Phoenix, so they can calm him down and keep him composed. That's Jerry Rome. Used to be with the Cowboys, but he's a real quarterback guru, and if anybody can calm Rosenbach down, it's Jerry Rome.
1st and 10, ball spotted at the 34, 13-11 remaining in the first half. Play action, Aikman for Kmart, and it's intercepted. Phoenix recovers. It looked to be Garth Jacks. So Troy Aikman's pass bounces off of Kelvin Martin.
And we talked about Troy Aikman's high velocity ball. Watch this ball come in here and just bounce completely off Kelvin Martin's chest. Straight up in the air, and the guy having a good year, Garth Jacks for the interception. Just what the Cardinals needed was a break.
Back here at Texas Stadium, and other than division leaders in the NFC, Washington, Philadelphia, and Green Bay are in the playoffs if the season ends today. These 2 teams trying to get in as Rosenbach goes up top for Ernie Jones, and it's incomplete as he's out of bounds. Ernie Jones with a great effort in keeping his eyes on the ball. Isaac Holt was right there with him.
Now watch this concentration by a fine young wide receiver and a good defensive play by a veteran, Isaac Holt. Jones has to go where the ball takes him, and I think Holt just distracted him enough to keep him juggling the ball. If he'd had his feet together, I believe he'd have been able to get 2 feet in for the legal catch.
2nd and 10 from the 43 of the Cowboys. Johnson. Upended by Isaac Holt 3 yards picked up on the play. And Isaac Holt, you see him grabbing the lower part of his back. He's been suffering from a low back contusion the past few weeks. So a valiant effort on his part just to be out there, Randy.
Well, people talk about the torque and the pressure put on defensive linemen and offensive linemen. How about all the twisting and the turning and the leaping you have to do as a defensive back? That's got to be even tougher than it is on a big guy. All that contortion got to really hurt, especially when you're bruised up.
3rd and 7. Terrence Flagler in to replace Johnson. Ricky Prohl, the 3rd wide receiver for the Cardinals. Intercepted by the Cowboys. James Washington. Pass intended for Ricky Prohl.
Timm Rosenbach sees the blitz coming. He knows he's going to get hit, so he's got to flip it out before Billy Bates gets there. And Prohl gets too far across. The ball was thrown too far behind him, and Washington was in the perfect position to pick that ball off.
7th interception for the Cowboys. That keeps them from resetting the lowest interception mark in the franchise. In jeopardy of doing that this year until that interception. Number 7 on the season. 1st and 10 for the Cowboys from the 43, and flags everywhere. Much to Tommy Agee's chagrin, he was through the hole, ready to head to pay dirt.
Ball start, right guard, 5 yards, still 1st down.
And the right guard is John Giesick. Number 63.
Big John Giesick off to a bit of a tough time so far early in this game. I know exactly what that feels like. Some days you can't do anything right. You might have 60 great plays, but all of a sudden out of nowhere you have 5 terrible plays, and those are the 5 plays everybody remembers. The holding penalties, the jump off sides, the sacks.
And seemingly out of nowhere right now, Tampa jumping on Minnesota 10-0. Agee. No hold this time for Agee as Cedric Mack drops him back. A loss on a play of 7.
There's Timm Rosenbach conferring with his quarterback coach Jerry Rome upstairs in the box. This is really a crucial time for these Phoenix Cardinals. They talk about their unity, they talk about their enthusiasm, they talk about this team feeling and this championship game theory. Dallas has not had a 10-point lead all year long. The first time this season, the Cardinals have got to put something together and start the Cowboys now.
From the 31, 2nd and 22, 4 wideouts in for the Cowboys. Aikman decides to run it instead. And Aikman on the quarterback draw regains 14 of the 22 yards. Run out of bounds by Jay Taylor and Lonnie Young.
This looks like a taste of Phoenix's own medicine. They love to run the quarterback draw with Timm Rosenbach. That is a draw. Good block by Stefanowski right there in the middle on Waller. And then Aikman, he's going where it's safe. He's heading out of bounds. He's going to slide because he knows they're going to catch him before he can get out of bounds.
Smart man. Brings up a 3rd and 8. Ball at the 45 of Dallas. 9:56 remaining in the half. Cowboys on top, 13-3.
Tight end Jay Novacek's been very quiet today so far.
And the play is stopped.
Play of game offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
It seems like teams have gotten better as the season has gone on, Randy, getting accustomed to the quick play clock.
That right there is just sort of a mental lapse by the Dallas Cowboys and their quarterback, Troy Aikman. I mean, this drive alone, they've sort of kept the Cardinals' enthusiasm in the game with a bad run by Tommy Agee losing all that yardage, and then on a crucial 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 play, getting a penalty like that for delay of game. And the clock's down below 10 seconds again. They're looking at a timeout or another penalty.
3rd and 13 with 2 seconds left on the play clock. And that's exactly what Dallas had to do, was to call timeout. So Dallas burns off one of its 3 timeouts, 2 remaining. Sports' 10th consecutive season of NCAA basketball coverage as Mike Krzyzewski's Duke. I'll get it right. Duke Blue Devils travel to Oklahoma to play the Sooners, the high-scoring Sooners. That'll take place at 3:45 Eastern Time next Saturday. I guess I'm getting a little too excited about it. 3rd and 13. Aikman going up top for Irvin. Complete. Yard pass play from Aikman to Irvin, down to the 21 of the Cardinals.
You hear the term wide open used an awful lot. This is grossly wide open. A pump fake from Aikman, and watch how wide open Irvin is. If he doesn't have to slow down for that ball, that's 6 points right there. Now he does something he shouldn't do. He's trying to juke. He's trying to make moves. Just get upfield, take the extra couple of yards.
2 catches for 80 yards on the day for Irvin. This is Tommy Agee, and Agee driving hard. 4 yards picked up on a play. Bring up a 2nd and 6.
One other thing on that last 3rd and long play, James, the Cardinals had in 7 defensive backs. They had a defense specifically built. You can't get deep. You can't get guys wide open. Oh, yeah?
Specifically designed for that, huh? Ball at the 17 of Phoenix. 8:03 remaining in the half. 2nd and 6. Emmitt Smith. And Smith down to about the 15. 2 yards picked up on a play. Live from Texas Stadium. Cowboys and Cardinals doing battle. Cowboys on top, 13-3. James Brown along with Randy Cross. And Randy, both coaches talk about how this should be the rivalry for the future for any number of reasons.
And I think the main reasons are the quarterbacks, the running backs, and the big offensive lines of the 90s. You're talking about Joe Bugle's Hogs in Washington. Well, what do you call these guys in Phoenix? They're all 310, 320 pounds. It'll be a great rivalry for a lot of years.
Penalty flags everywhere. Looks like Freddie Joe Nunn may have been caught.
Encroachment, number 78 of the defense, 5 yards, 1st down.
And that's correct. Freddie Joe Nunn, 5th-year player out of Mississippi.
Now the question is, why do 2 guys all of a sudden jump? Watch Nunn right here. He's going to go. But all of a sudden, Jack's behind him. He's going too. It's follow the leader. I always thought it was go when the ball moves, not when the rear end in front of you moves.
Ball marked at the 9. Smith. And Smith gets maybe a yard.
Emmitt Smith gets 2 yards to the 8-yard line.
Good job of filling on that play by the safety Lonnie Young, number 43 on Emmitt Smith. And Phoenix here needs the big play. They have got to stop Dallas here from extending their lead. Dallas equals right now their biggest lead of the season at 10 points. They go out by 13. They're going to put Timm Rosenbach and the Cardinals in a must-throw position.
8 carries for 43 yards in the first half for Emmitt Smith. 2nd and 9. Aikman complete to Novacek. And Novacek only a yard on the play. Tackled by Tim McDonald. Pretty strong tackle by McDonald. 6'2", 209 against the Novacek at 235.
And taking Novacek out of the game, according to Joe Bugle and Tim McDonald, is one of the cardinal goals whenever you play the Cowboys, especially this year. You play this guy, Novacek, Awald, who's inactive today with a bad back, can really kill you deep and in the middle of these zones with a play-action pass.
Novacek came into the game as the Cowboys' leading receiver
and was held to 3 receptions last time these 2 teams played.
3rd and 8. Ball at the 8. One up top. Touchdown, Dallas. Michael Irvin. catch of the day for Michael Irvin, a total of 88 yards.
And that pulls him even with his buddy number 22, Emmitt Smith, on the day. They each have a touchdown. They got a little friendly wager between the two of them going. And watch this play at the end. Nothing special until right about here, Michael Irvin decides, this is my ball. It is not yours, Mr. Mack.
Well, Ken Willis on for the point after. And it's good. The Cowboys expanding their lead here in the first half, leading the Cardinals by the score of 20-3. Getting the record books in a positive way, Randy.
And they've got a chance to get up to Baltimore with that +8 if they can win their last 3 games. This will be a crazy town if this team wins 3 games and goes into the playoffs. Cowboy mania is about to return to Dallas.
Cowboys trying to keep the ball away from Viseka Hema of the Cardinals. So Larry Centers from the 7. And stays inbounds up to about the 33-yard line. Benson Smith on the tackle. Michael Irvin, an animated type indeed. Next Saturday at noon Eastern time, a memorable edition of the NFL Today, the greatest plays of all time. We'll see Alan Amici's overtime touchdown to win the 1958 championship game, and plays like the immaculate reception, Big Ben, and the catch. That's next Saturday at noon in the NFL Today. That'll be followed by the Lions and the Packers, a critical game to the Packers playoff hopes next Saturday right here on CBS. First and 10 from the 33. And Johnson takes it up near the 39-yard line.
Let's keep in mind here, James, the Cardinals are down by 17 points. It's basically a conservative running type of a team. They are going to stick with their game plan, I'm sure, but sooner or later, down by this many points, Timm Rosenbach and the Cardinals are going to have to start taking chances they might not want to and create more big turnovers.
Roy Green to the near side, Ernie Jones to the far. 2nd and 4. Looking for Jones. Incomplete. Danny Noonan, a little bit of pressure that time. Take a look at these two quarterbacks, Rosenbach and Aikman. Aikman has never beaten Rosenbach in head-to-head competition. A battle that goes back to their collegiate days. Aikman at UCLA, of course, and Rosenbach at Washington State.
And Rosenbach especially smiles, bringing up the fact that they knocked UCLA off when they were #1 with Aikman at quarterback.
6 DBs in for the Cowboys, 3rd and 4 for the Cardinals. And J.T. Smith, the ball in his hands and dropped. And Smith had the hit applied by Isaac Holt. J.T. Smith had been complaining and has been complaining about wanting more playing time.
Well, drop or not, it wouldn't have been a first down. He was surrounded by defenders, and he was inside the first down mark. You don't expect that out of a veteran. To get past the marker, turn around, catch it.
Jared Shepard back to receive this Camarillo punt. Shepard from the 13 and runs out of bounds at the 15. A 48-yard punt, 2-yard return.
This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and this CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Dallas Cowboys, and the National Football League is prohibited. That big number 98, Mitch Willis, recently signed this week by the Dallas Cowboys, former SMU player, local guy. He's excited about this team. He says, even when I was young, there wasn't this much excitement in Dallas.
Cowboys from their own 15. Smith. And Emmitt Smith with 5 yards on the carry, tackled by Freddie Joe Nunn.
You know, we talk about a city and an area that's excited about their football team, James. I think Dallas is more excited now than any other time because they were never this bad for so long. I mean, even when they first started, there was hope. I mean, there was the optimism. They got really bad for a while, and now these fans are starting to come back to the Cowboys.
People who gave away their season tickets trying to reclaim them. Emmitt Smith, 48 yards on the ground in the first half on 9 carries. 2nd and 5, complete to Irvin. And Cedric Mack pushes him out of bounds after 4 yards picked up on the play. Well, Randy, we've heard so much as you take a look at the Tampa Bay score about the possibility of Bill Walsh, your old coach, taking over there. What do you know about it? What do you think?
I think the only thing standing in the way of Bill Walsh becoming the next head coach of Tampa Bay or another team in the NFL is getting a percentage of ownership. Money's not so much the factor. I think Bill wants the power, he wants to be a part owner, and he wants to be a head office guy. He won't spend long on the field once he goes anywhere.
Smith for the first down, plus a lot. Randy, he being Emmitt Smith after that 6-yard carry, really talked a lot about why it's important for him to get that 1,000-yard mark for the season.
Well, the funny thing about it was offensive center Stepnoski, number 53, says, you know, we want him to get Tony Dorsett's rookie rushing record of 1,007 yards. And Emmitt Smith looks over and says, hey, it's nice to know you guys are keeping track of that. I didn't think you knew I was running at that record.
1st and 10. This is Smith again. And Smith picks up another 11 on the play. 66 yards in the first half running for Emmitt Smith. And we've reached the 2-minute mark. Cowboys on top by 17.
See on the sideline, prowling the sideline, Mark Tuinei, number 71, the big veteran tackles, re-aggravated a right knee sprain he had earlier this year. And in the game for him now will be Kevin Gogan, number 66. Big guy, very physical, but a matchup to keep your eye on. He'll be working against Harvey, number 56, rushing from the outside. And Gogan is not one of the quickest offensive linemen in the league. Harvey could get a corner on him for a sack easily.
Which is precisely the reason that Dexter Manley was asking quite aggressively if Kevin Gogan was going to be seeing much action today. Dallas with 2 timeouts remaining. Phoenix with 3. This is Tommy Agee. And Agee knocking Tim McDonald ahead for a couple more yards. 5 yards picked up on the play.
There's Bob Lilly, one of the all-time great football players, not just Cowboys, one of the all-time great football players in the history of the NFL, enshrined in the Ring of Fame here. And no, James, I did not play against Bob Lilly. I'm not that old.
Derek Kennard thought so. Incomplete pass. Troy Aikman throwing in the direction of Emmitt Smith. On 2nd and 5.
The Cardinals sniffed that screen out very well, very early. They did not bite on the bait that Troy Aikman and the Cowboys were putting out there.
Number 72, Rod Sadler, specifically in there applying the pressure.
That's a steady group there, too. Not real spectacular. You know, you got Sadler, and you got Waller, and you got Freddie Joe Nunn. Not really big names, but they do real good, solid work.
Dallas perfect 3rd down conversions this afternoon, 6 of 6. We've got a penalty flag.
That's going to be too much time again.
Number 63, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Well, Randy, your boy John Giesick is really having some difficulties today.
He's got a case of the twitches here early in the first half.
Giesick, number 63, the guy.
Watch 63, the right guard right here. It looked like they had run out of time on the clock again, but let's see him flinch. Whoops.
As he tries to suspend it.
Waller, the nose guard, lined up in the gap, started to come across, and as soon as Giesick saw him move, he moved.
Randy, you talked about that defensive alignment of the Cardinals. 7 defensive backs in for the Cardinals. 3rd and 10 for the Cowboys. 1:29 remaining in the half.
Dexter Manley out working on Gogan.
Aikman. Incomplete. Intended receiver was Kelvin Martin, covered by Cedric Mack.